What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you don't miss any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And with this video, we are jumping into Sabretooth, issue number 3. If you have not been keeping up with everything going on with this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on underneath Krakoa. With Sabretooth being imprisoned, he has discovered a way to leave his imprisonment and quote-unquote walk through Krakoa, being able to manifest his consciousness through the island. He is now conjuring up a plan to free himself and all of the other prisoners. Be sure to buy the comic, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 3, we are picking up deep inside the pit, this manifestation known as Krakoa State Penitentiary. And right now, Sabretooth is telling them the story of the 3 men that were able to break out of Alcatraz. And as he goes on this story, Melter says that maybe they died. Maybe they just drowned in the water and no one ever found them. And why does any of this matter? Because we are all jacked into Sabretooth's mind. So all of this is just a manifestation. But Sabretooth is letting them know that he has walked on the surface of Krakoa, not knowing what was going on at the time. He was able to manifest himself. But now he wants to try it again. But he wants to try it with all of them. This is his big escape plan. Bigger than the escape on Alcatraz. But to do this, they are gonna have to manifest all of themselves up there. And they're gonna have to get the old crew back together. The first objective is to find Scrambler. Necra and Oya are the 2 sent up to go find Scrambler, manifesting in the shape of sand and rock. The 2 of them know very well that Sabretooth is not on their side, and in fact they have no obligation to go do anything he wants. They're gonna go do their own thing and try to find a way out of here. That's what brings them to the shoreline. That's what brings them to Bling. Finding out that the time frame that they are currently in, as they stand here on Krakoa, everyone is preparing for the Hellfire Gala. Bling has been out here patrolling, and she lets them know that everybody has been looking for them. What the Quiet Council didn't tell the people is that they were tried in a secret court, and they had been sentenced to the pits. After Bling hears this information, she has no issue in helping them in anything that they need. Their second objective, that is to find Vertigo, with Third Eye being the one sent up there to go and talk to Mole. We learned that quite a bit of time has passed since the last time they had a discussion, bringing them to the conclusion that down there in the pit, time moves much differently. Because for Third Eye, that felt like only a couple of days ago. What Mole has been doing is trying to get word out about Third Eye being down there in the pit. The biggest problem, making sure that Professor Xavier didn't find out he was spreading this information. The way he does this is going to the mutants that are more or less invisible, that aren't part of the X-Men or Excalibur or X-Force, the ones that Xavier looks over every single day, that he doesn't even waste his time reading their minds, much like Mole himself. Step 3 is locating Prism. As Madison Jeffries appears in front of Skin, he quickly recognizes this is not the person he is looking for, but nonetheless he sits down and the 2 of them have a conversation. And though this conversation is very brief, Skin has to ask the question, why are you here? Letting it be known that he is trapped inside of the island and he is supposed to be finding bad guys to help break them out. The truth is, this isn't him. This isn't what he does. As he battles through his moral conflict, we pick up with Melter, finding himself at the Quiet Council. He has finally found the place that he has been looking for all of this time, and this is where he runs into Professor X. Now this holds significance because in the first pages of this comic, we see Melter, he hurt a lot of people, a lot of mutants on Krakoa. Not only that, before he came to this island, he hurt people close to him, not being able to control his powers. Professor X also knows that Melter has been poking in to Quiet Council business. trying to find their secret meeting place, hoping that he can eavesdrop and find out what's going on. Professor X had warned him all the way back then that he need not look for this place and he will not get another warning. So when Professor Xavier walks in here, he's thrown off guard a little bit because he's not supposed to be here. But Professor X, he is very calm about this, letting him know that this is everything you wanted and now you have it. Believing this to be a little bit odd, he questions him, asking the professor if he can find his parents, with Xavier agreeing to do this, saying that it wouldn't be a problem whatsoever. This is where Melter knows this is not Professor X. The jig is up, and now they have figured out this is Sabretooth. Melter is the one individual that Sabretooth has not trusted, and for good reason. Melter believes in Xavier's plan. He believes in the dream. He believes in Krakoa. Even despite being trapped here in this hellish land, he refuses to let Sabretooth do what he does. Unfortunately for Melter, he doesn't have a choice, as Sabretooth grabs hold of him, his body broken and mangled, begging and pleading to stop all of this. We see the meeting of the Feral Council, all of the manifestations that are Sabretooth. The entire council, they're trying to figure out why Sabretooth has done this huge elaborate plan, believing that every step of the way, all of them have failed you. Even now, as Melter sits here in this room, what has actually gone according to your plan? The truth of the matter, everybody that he sent for, he could care less about them. Believing that there was a much better path to victory, believing that they could find some other kind of way out of here. He knew that no one on the surface was going to care about Victor Creed. While they may think that they are the best thing to ever walk this planet, the truth is many despise them and they are very self-aware of this. But they are not trapped down here alone. There are other individuals down here that were put here in secret, and because of that, we can use that. We can start an uprising between the people of Krakoa and the Quiet Council. He plans to turn all of the populace against the Quiet Council, to expose all of their secrets and bring down a nation without firing a single bullet. Third Eye has been able to notice something very unique going on with all of them as they are suspended down here in the pit. While they are all connected to Sabretooth consciousness, their physical bodies are hanging here inside of Krakoa, and slowly over time, we have seen that they are able to move in the slightest of ways. For example, Nekra and Oya, they are able to hold hands, believing that this connection is helping them through this ordeal. Melter has also been reaching out. He has been reaching towards Sabretooth. Now, Third Eye believed he was doing this because Melter is looking for somebody to look up to, a mentor, some kind of leader to follow. As the Feral Council is having their meeting, the broken body of Melter, we see his powers start to manifest in his hand, and he lets them know that this is probably going to kill all of them. They are all connected to his consciousness, and while he doesn't want to sacrifice his own life and everybody else's, he is willing to do whatever it takes to protect Krakoa, that it is worth the risk to stop Sabretooth. Having Melter's physical hand touch Sabretooth's physical body, we see his power ignite. And with this spark, Sabretooth is burned down to his very skeleton. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, when I first dived into this, I assumed right off the bat that this was going to be the return of Sabretooth, that he was going to get his way out of this pit in some form or fashion. But now that we have gotten through issue number 3, it appears the physical body of Sabretooth has been completely incinerated, or at least that's what they are leading us to believe, thinking that hell might come to Krakoa. Melter, the last individual that anybody believed could save the day, by all appearances, he has done exactly that. Of course, this all could still be a manifestation, but I don't think that's the case. I think that this series is going to end, and we're gonna have Sabretooth no longer in the pit, but he is going to be legitimately dead or in whatever heaven that they have. Probably just not allowed into the queue, especially if they don't know that he died in the pit. This also brings up where Krakoa and Cypher play their role in all of this. Because while they intervened in the very beginning, we haven't seen them come around since then. I can legitimately say I don't know what the next direction of the next 2 issues are. And that's really saying something because Marvel has been relatively predictable over the last couple of events, over the lines, the series, most of the stuff they have coming out recently, you can really predict. So it is really nice to see that we are at issue number 3, and I have no idea what they're gonna do next. With this being only 5 issues, I really do think that it has been greatly paced. We have got a lot of amazing story out of only 3 issues. I've really enjoyed the idea of them playing with a heaven and hell for Krakoa. That this place, this island, their belief, it is a religion. They do have a heaven and hell. With Judgment Day just around the corner, you have to ask yourself, how long before they start seeing themselves as gods? Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the super thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. If you can't do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like this video, and until the next breakdown.